Hey there, everyone. A good Erev Shabbos to you. Hope you're enjoying the last few days of summer. We are going to be reading this week about how it is permissible and perhaps even a mitzvah for the Jewish people to appoint a king over themselves. When it comes some point in history and the Jewish people will request, place upon us a king, so the Torah says it's permissible. They can have a king. There are some restrictions for that king that they can't do, but by and large it is permissible, not a problem at all. Which is why it is surprising that when the Jewish people ultimately make this request for the first time in the book of Shmuel, when they go to the prophet Shmuel and they say to him, Sima alai melech kechol hagoyim, place upon us a king like the other nations, Shmuel's reaction is, Vayirah hadavar b'einei Shmuel. Shmuel doesn't say anything, but he does say something, but not the right way. But the initial reaction is that this appeared to Shmuel in his eyes as something really bad, as evil. Now the question is why? Why did Shmuel have this reaction if the Torah itself says it is a mitzvah perhaps to appoint a king over the Jewish people? And so many answers are given to this, and I wanted to share one answer within the Ksav Sofer of Avram Sofer, who tries to understand what went wrong here with this request made to Shmuel, perhaps as opposed to what the Torah says is perfectly permissible. By the way, Shmuel does grant them their request. They do get a king. This request is the impetus for Shaul to ultimately become the first king of the Jewish people. But why did Shmuel not like this request at its outset? So Shmuel, according to the Ksav Sofer, said, "Wait, you just said kechol hagoyim, like the other nations." And as the Ksav Sofer writes, "Umin hagoyim lamdu," you want to learn from the other nations. V'ratzu la'asot k'ma'aseim, and you want to do as they do. V'lidamot lahem, and you just want to be like them. You want to be like them. You don't want a king because it's good for governing reasons. It's an effective tool to helping push the Jewish people forward from an economic perspective, from a security perspective. No, you just want to be like everyone else. And that's what he didn't like about their requests. He's like, we need to be ourselves. We can, of course, learn from other nations and take best practices, ideas, look at other countries and look at their leadership structure and say, wow, you know what, that would really be helpful within our framework. But at the end of the day, we need to be the Jewish people. We can't start being what they are. And Shmuel was concerned that they were starting to just want to do what other people do, what other nations do, simply for that reason, to be like them. And Shmuel said that's not the Torah way. The Torah provides us with our structure, with our hadracha, with a way of life, individually and as collectively as a nation. And of course we should continue to learn from others in the world. There's so much we can learn, and by the way, offer to the world as well, in terms of our ideas, but certainly in terms of incorporating into our practice, into our economic structures as a country, as Am Yisrael, as a government structure, Am Yisrael. Of course, we should. The king could be a great idea, but not just because they all do it. And I think it teaches us the importance of remembering that the Torah is our central way of life as a people, and we learn from others as well. But the core base is to be ourselves, to be authentic Torah observant Jews as a nation, and we learn from others too. And I think on an individual level, this message applies equally. It's extremely important, even with our fellow Jews, to be who we are. Not to just say and to do what other people do because that's what everyone does. It's not a good way to live life. Number one, I think it's exhausting to try to be like someone we're not. But I think when we show our authentic selves, we feel good about it. And frankly, I think we have a lot to offer by just simply being who we are, by being true to who we are. And I think we can take away from this lesson of Shmuel's disappointment with the Jewish people's request to be like others. We don't just want to be like others. We want to be ourselves. And that applies not just nationally, but I believe that applies individually as well. May we all have the strength and the courage to be who we are, to be our authentic selves. And I wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom. Take care.